rock band on earth. Fuck, by like a wide margin.
All right, we're live on Spreaker.
All right, Spreaker.
I don't know what the fuck Facebook doing. We off of 3, 2, 1. We off of Fortnite or what?
I don't believe we are, so I don't know.
All right. So how do we do this?
I think you're looking at what you doing?
I'm off of Wi-Fi. We are live.
Oh yeah. You know you got a big dong on the screen. See where we at with that. Woo, got the water. Don't give him that water.
We're in that water. The healthy choices.
Woo, shit, man. We're here on a Monday. Saints and Sinners podcast, man. What is that date?
Oh shit! I've been thrown to the wolves.
I
wasn't ready.
He wasn't prepared.
Ready. But I'm always ready. It's March 2nd, 2020.
We are in March.
We're in March.
You've been waiting on this for a month now,
2nd,
man.
2020. Get your eyes doggone check. We ain't gonna curse too early. We can get people in before we get people
we
out.
don't curse till like the 10-minute mark. But yeah, we're back at it. Saints and Sinners podcast. Want to send a shout out to Poncho Fest 2020 this Friday at Battlefield Bar, our boy Matt's place out in Chalmette, Louisiana. That's gonna be going down right there by the ferry. Nola Express Courier, Savoy Sausage, Adrian Ramos, our boy with the photography. Just a local shout out to a lot of thriving businesses.
Fest 2020.
What's going on?
Some people are going to be out there just catching a wall.
They waiting, huh? They waiting in line already or what?
They're
already
catching
jammed?
a wall right now, just waiting to get in.
That's why I was joking with P earlier. I said, man, those undercover cops are putting together the most obvious outfits right now, right?
No comment. Anyway, they might have people waiting to get in at 6 o'clock.
That's right.
They could have, had it at 6 o'clock, but
it's starting at 9, huh?
We're starting at 8.
Oh, starting at 8. Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
That's
people
that work for companies that
Y'all,
still work on Saturday.
Well, hey, man, we're going to definitely get into that. We got another show coming this week. We're going to talk more about Poncho Fest 2020 from the Battlefield Bar in Chalmette. It's going to feature PNC, Lady Red, Jada Wizard, and more. But to start things out, last night, obviously you're a big Lakers fan. We talked about this game. Pelicans-Lakers. It was a great atmosphere. Anthony Davis did not play. J.J. Redick is out for 2 weeks, a huge loss for the Pelicans. And obviously Davis not playing is a big thing with the Lakers. But in a weird way, man, I felt they almost – and obviously Anthony Davis is a superstar. J.J.'s a solid complementary player. But I felt it was an equal hurt on both. You know what I'm saying? I think Redick would have been huge because the Pelicans struggled recently with the three-point shot. And having J.J. available would have made a huge difference.
I think that was the worst comparison. That's a whole different sport.
No. But here's this. Let me get to what I'm talking about. Because remember, let's be real.
Talking about the defensive player of the year, guy can drop 25 to 40 any given night, like he's already done.
This is
the Pelicans once this year.
You got to allow me to finish, man. You obviously nobody's saying Anthony Davis and J.J. Redick's the same player. I'm saying they affected.
Too crazy, too quick.
Let's slow down. Pump the brakes. Fuck Caruso. That dude's terrible.
Caruso and Redick, maybe you're talking apples.
That's not even an apple to apple. That's an apple to a nut.
When you got a top 6 player compared to J.J. fucking Redick.
No.
You started off wrong.
All right. Well, you can't allow me to finish, man. That's a typical Lakers fan. Lakers fan for a team that hasn't made the playoffs in 7 years. There's some cocky fans.
I'm allow you to retort.
But listen, here's my thing. This is what I mean. J.J. Redick, the Pelicans made 7 threes last night, I believe. They shot in the low 20s percent-wise. The double teams on Zion was real. They couldn't cover Ingram at times. They couldn't cover Ball at times off the dribble. The Pelicans had that Drew was the one guy to me that struggled these 2 games against the Lakers recently as far as getting his own shot and going off the dribble. But everybody else to me looked unguardable at times. And to me, having a guy like JJ sitting out of the perimeter, I was that was a big complaint for me the first time around with the Lakers. JJ had a very soft game, and I thought if JJ could have had some more plays drawn up for him, I think that could have made a difference in the game. Because let's be real, these games came down within the final minute and a half, just like last time. I mean, it was an 8-point loss. I'm just saying the outcome was pretty much the same. JJ wasn't around this time. He wasn't a factor the first time. Anthony Davis, had a nice game the first time around, but I don't think Davis mattered as much. And this is why I'm going to say that, because the length – with Howard and McGee, that's what the Lakers establish inside. That's what they want with their shot blockers. Davis would have gave them another shot blocker, but we saw Zion go right at these guys. I don't think Davis would have mattered as much. Because to me, what it all comes down to in these games against the Lakers, and I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I want to cover this game, it's LeBron. This is my thing. If you keep playing this strategy on LeBron where you allow him to isolate guys that he's 5 or 6 inches taller than, and allow to post up, within 10 feet of the rim, you're going to have a disaster on your hands. He's too good of a passer. Mm-hmm. He's too good on the fadeaway. He's too strong where he can just get in there for a dunk or a layup. It's not going to work. Jrue Holiday's one of the best defenders in the league. Josh Hart's a nice defender as well with a lot of energy. But to me, I think the timing was a little better with the double teams, but I think Alvin went away from the double teams too early to me. He got discouraged from that 3 from Kuzma. We put that in an article on tailgate504.com. The 3 that Kuzma hit in the corner. After that, the double teams softened up a little bit. But I think LeBron just made a perfect play. You got to take the ball out of his hands. You can't let LeBron – he went for 40 the first time. Mm-hmm. He went for 34, got a triple-double this time. To me, you've got to force other guys to hit shots, but you have to cover those guys. Absolutely. You cannot give Danny Green and Kyle Kuzma, wide open looks. But to me, the biggest thing of all that Alvin Gentry can do is – to me, I told you this before we got on a podcast, and it's a pretty goddamn simple explanation for me. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if Alvin's just a genius and he's not showing his hand because it's a possible first-round matchup, or he's just not realizing this situation. But you should be fond of this, and you shouldn't hate on this at all as much as you built this guy up for 2 years. But Lonzo Ball should be the guy guarding LeBron James 9 times out of 10. Wouldn't that make the most sense at all? You put Jrue on one of these guys like Kuzma or perhaps a Danny Green and take those guys out the equation. Take that shooter out the equation, one of the best defenders in the league. To me, Lonzo would be the best. Nobody's going to shut down LeBron. He's the best player on the planet. But I think Lonzo's 6'6", length, willing defender, physical. I like that matchup better than I like Josh Hart and Jrue Holiday.
I like Brandon Ingram better.
I like the Ingram thing too, but why not Ball?
I think it worked early in the game, and then they just kind of went away from it. I don't know if Ball has enough ass for it.
I don't think Ingram. Ingram's
a little more wiry. Though.
He's wired, but Lonzo. I like the way Lonzo plays the passing lane.
He's got a little more strength, and he's a little more lengthy.
See, here's my thing with Jrue. Drew's a great defender, but it's a mismatch.
I think he looks at Ball and he's gonna go right at it.
That's great, but let's see if Lonzo's up to the task. I mean, Lonzo's a second pick overall a few years ago. The whole thing about Lonzo is Lonzo's not a great scorer. A lot of Pelicans fans are starting to finally realize his game. He is a great distributor, and he's a very willing, solid defender. I don't think he's to the level of Jrue just yet, but I think he's a really good defender. Now, last year you were telling me, and I'm not hating on you, but I'm just saying you watched him last year. You told me he was on Drew's level last year defensively. If that's the case, why not put this guy out there?
Not in the post, on the perimeter.
Yeah, but you're going to put Jrue Holiday, a 6'3" guard, roughly?
I think he's one of your better perimeter defenders. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it in the post, but I'd like to see it. You don't have any other answers. So
right.
It's worth a try.
Well, they did better, and to me, that's where this game gets out of the way. I know that's where, to me, the difference in this game was. You cannot, if you can get LeBron under 30, I think the Pelicans have a great chance of winning the game. Because let's be real, Zion was a disaster for them. Dwight Howard, as strong as that guy is, as great of a defender he's been in his career, he went after Howard, couldn't help but foul him. He overpowered Howard, which is crazy. I mean, one of the strongest guys to ever play in the NBA, Dwight Howard. And Zion pushed him around at times. Zion is just a maniac.
The primary matchup was Kyle Kuzma.
Well, Kuzma was a big difference maker for you guys.
And what hurt Zion at the end of the game was when they put Bron up on him, and he couldn't volleyball Bron, and Bron started stripping him down low.
He did.
And that's what turned the game.
I liked when Zion stepped back and took the jumper.
That's the problem.
The jumper he made.
The problem.
That's what he needs to do more of.
The problem is down the stretch. They got that matchup in their back pocket.
Yeah, but to me, okay, but if that's the case, that's when Alvin Gentry has to say, hey, time out.
Mm-hmm.
This is what's going on. And I'm not taking no shots on Gentry. I don't think Gentry's ever going to be a Coach of the Year kind of candidate, but I don't think he's the worst guy either. But to me, this is where a Greg Popovich or a Budenholzer or somebody comes in and says, hey, or Nick Nurse says, hey, you know what? Okay, we see what they're doing. Let's call a quick timeout here. Brandon Ingram, you're my guy right now. Because when Brandon Ingram was going at the rim early in the first half, Brandon didn't shoot well early on, but when he decided to put the ball on the ground and go at the rim, the Lakers didn't have an answer for that guy. I mean, he was getting in the lane 2-3 dribbles and just using length and moves and just having his way. I would have went back to something like that with Ingram. Mm-hmm. To me, with Zion on the post, and we said this before the podcast, guys have got to be aware. I know you said that, I'd like to see them add another shooter as well in the offseason, but the guys that are there are very capable penetrators, like Jrue on a slash, or Brandon on a slash. You know, the other guys can camp out the line, but Zion, he's getting double teamed, triple teamed, or if LeBron goes on him single cover, somebody else has to be looking for the slash.
The problem
you know
with
what I mean?
Zion is you're going to have 2 or 3 guys in the lane clogging up the lane. You need people to hit three-pointers.
But if he can dump off that pass,
from three-point land is not going to win the game for you.
No, they got to shoot better.
You need guys to space the floor.
The Pels have not shot better lately.
Ingram,
have not shot well lately.
You need Ingram, Hart, Drew Holiday. He had a couple early, or at least one nice three-pointer to open up the game, and he just couldn't hit the broadside of a barn from three-point.
The open looks, they blew a lot of open opportunities in this game.
At the catch and shoot.
No, they blew. Well, that's not his game, though. That's not Drew, though. That's where you need J.J. Redick. That's my point about Redick.
Yeah, but you need more than just him.
No, but I'm saying, but if Redick
not going to do it for you,
you lose this game by 8 points.
3 shooters out there,
and I understand. I mean, I'm not saying Redick would have been ultimately made the decision in this game, but a JJ 3 or 4 threes could have been that difference. It very well could have been a possibility where that could have been a difference in the game. You know, him making 3 or 4 shots beyond the arc. I'm just saying, JJ's a huge loss right now. I mean, they've got to weather the storm. I mean, really, okay, the Lakers are a huge national game. Everybody wanted that game locally, obviously, for many reasons. But we got to get our heads on straight. Minnesota comes to town tomorrow night. That's an easy game. That's going to be as much of a cupcake as you could ask for. Karl-Anthony Towns is out with a wrist injury. Yeah. D'Angelo, they're sitting him randomly, and they're getting fined by the league because of it. That team's ready for the offseason. They're playing for draft stock. They want lottery balls at this point.
You lose that game, you don't deserve it.
You could be fucked. Yeah, you could be. I mean, you're 3 back of Memphis. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Now, I've heard this everywhere. You know, it's been talked about quite a bit lately. The Saturday night game, okay, with Memphis. The Lakers, I mean, look, I'm not going to lie to you. I've watched clips of it. But everybody I know that was able to watch that game on League Pass or whatever, they said the effort was nowhere near what they saw on Sunday night. Now, what do you say from a Lakers standpoint?
What doesn't make sense to me is if you got guys questionable, why does everybody play that game?
I mean, but
if you're trying to blow that game, you sit LeBron, you sit AD,
but the effort.
You sit Caruso.
What if
you sit people? It's that night off.
Well, but wouldn't that catch a lot?
It's that low.
But listen. But here's my thing. This is where I get what you're saying. But listen to this. Check it out.
Play those guys in that kind of game.
I've got a good rebuttal for that.
And they get hurt. Then
well, you can't play in fear. You can't play in fear either. I mean, you know, Popovich was great at always managing the load situation with an older veteran team. In San Antonio,
makes sense.
But to me, it would
looking for a story.
Well, they're looking for a story right now.
It makes a good story.
Well, they're looking for a story right now because here's my thing: Memphis was dead in the water the last 5 games. They looked terrible. They lost 5 in a row. They come home and beat the Lakers, one of the best teams in the league, best record in the West. Everybody says the Lakers' effort was shit that night. I'm just saying this. It looks even worse if you sit LeBron and Davis in that game, and then all of a sudden on primetime, LeBron comes back Sunday night in New Orleans and plays. You know what I'm saying? Then you really open up this. LeBron is not a stupid guy. LeBron's a super intelligent guy. He doesn't want the distraction. Frank Vogel doesn't want the distraction. Becomes a distraction at that point.
In-game load management.
I think it is an in-game load management. That's a good way of calling it. I mean, and I'm not mad at the Lakers. You can do whatever you want with your team.
Off, but he'll take quarters off.
Yeah, I'm not mad at the Lakers for it. I mean, we're chasing the Grizzlies, so we're a little aggravated.
Whole game.
But let me ask you this. We talked about this before the podcast, and I get why they're doing it. Because let's be real. I'm not saying the Pelicans are going to beat the Lakers, but they are the better team than Memphis. And you got the distractions of the baby Lakers with Ingram and Hart and Ball. You got Zion's physicality.
It's a lot.
The pace.
It's a lot of media stuff that wouldn't have to be dealt with.
Let's say both series go 5 games. Mm-hmm. Let's be real. The more grueling 5 games would probably mentally and physically would be against the Pelicans because the storylines are going to be built up like crazy. Mm-hmm. I mean that would be the best 8-1 pairing in the first round for entertainment purposes.
It'd be better for them to play a cupcake that they're going to beat by 20.
Absolutely, play
with
Memphis
maybe one close game where Josh scores 50 points.
Right, exactly. And Memphis it's a quieter town. Cool town, good party spots, but quieter town. It's not New Orleans. It's not going to bring the same recognition because of the Lakers Pelicans marriage because of the Davis thing. I mean, let's be real. The franchises are kind of intertwined a little bit right now for the time being, and I think that in the physicality of Zion as well. You know what I mean? The Grizzlies don't have that kind of guy that can physically beat up some of the Lakers guys down low. I mean, you don't want to play that guy 4 or 5 games. What you got, man?
Man, I would be remiss if I didn't introduce a few people. Welcome to all the people that's joined us. But we got some special diehards in the house.
Bring them on in.
We got the face of magazine, who was also in the building last night.
She was there, man. Good
drinking
job.
Not beer, but white wine.
White wine.
It wasn't
That's what's
wine,
up.
it was
Sex in the
white
City
wine.
style, man.
Miss Lorena of the magazine location.
What's up? What's up? She had the Sex in the City going on, or what? She had the umbrella, tropical beverage, and wine and stuff.
She did have some good drinks going on, but just to enjoy Zion. But we also got Darkness is Around.